What's up guys, Machado here, live with Pro Play Games. Just came back from ARG Dragon Ball Super Richmond, regional number 4 for Dragon Ball Super card game, and we completely dominated. It was great. We had Peter versus Marcel in the finals, reigning champ Marcel from Las Vegas versus Peter, who his championship trophy really eluded him. He got 3rd place in Orlando and then made top 8 in Las Vegas, and now at his 3rd regional, he went and took the crown finally. Now we are home to 3 different Dragon Ball Super champions and super proud. Couldn't be more proud about that. But enough about that. This is the deck profile. I did scrub the main event. I was on the same build as Peter and Bella and Ferdella for the most part. We all played primarily the same list, give and take a few cards. Like we maxed out on Sensu Beans, he didn't. You know, little things like that. The counts were a little bit off apart from Peter's build, but we were all pretty much on Goku. We felt like that was the best call going into the event, and you know, it didn't work out so well for me. I got 2 draws and 1 loss, or 2 losses, I'm sorry. Losing my winning in to Dusty O'Brien from Kitchen Table Meta. He's fantastic player. It was a really fun match, despite us really being sad that had to be the final match to see who made it into Top Cut, because we really both wanted to make it really badly. But Dusty played the match very well, and you know, I was cut short. I would have been 100% top rate, but he cut me short, and now I have not topped a regional. I haven't topped that regional yet. So, but still a pretty good record. So since I didn't top, I went to the 1K and I switched over to my good old friend Frieza, aka Mecha Frieza, and you know, I had a pretty rough time against this deck. I think I played this deck just once in Swiss, and I had a pretty tough time against it, despite us making the Goku deck just to beat this deck. So I figured if I took my own little spin on it, then maybe I'd have a better matchup against Goku, since the build that I was playing against was giving me a little bit of a hard time. So I was just like, let me make my own little version of it, and it ended up proving to be very well. I did beat a Goku, but then lost to a Goku, so I went 7-1, I believe, in the 1K, and it was 8 rounds. It was grueling, and I finished 5th place, I believe, and then we decided to split Top Cut. So, without further ado, here's the deck profile. We played 4 energy boosted Majin Buu, of course, the staple in blue. If you're playing blue, you're playing this card, of course. Cycles through your mana, and its defense, it being a 5k defense, is very good. Then we played 4 of the green Majin Buu, a little bit higher costed but more attack power. I actually killed somebody with the Goku during the 1k. It was really cool. This is a stronger target. It still has a 5k. The only problem is a 2. A lot of the time this is energy. I don't see any reason, if you're playing this card, I feel like you just max out on this card, because like, this is good at all points of the game. So is Majin Buu. Like, early game, mid game, late game, you always want to see these cards. They see another card and it's defense, you know. So at worst this is an energy, at best, you know, it's just something to cycle through your deck. So I never see any point in playing any less than 4, to be completely honest. Then we played, for our 3 drops, this is our only 3 drop, the energy powered Gotenks. Now, energy powered Gotenks is very good. It's a card that, I compare it in Yu-Gi-Oh terms, Donzalug. You know, it's a very tempo card. It's good at almost all phases of the game, except when your opponent has like just a huge lead against you, and at that point it's just energy. But this is a card that really can help you just swing the momentum and tempo on your side, because it really helps, makes your opponent play on the back foot, because they're losing a card every single time. I like to think of this as a crit creature, because they're not really gaining a life. They're losing a card, then gaining a life. So this is kind of a crit card without the crit, which is why I really like this card. I wish I had more space for it, but that's all we can fit in this deck. Then I consider these 1 drops, because you know, you just drop them for 1 mana. All these 10k cards that summon themselves are all really good for the most part, because they don't really require too much of an investment. They could be used defensively and offensively, and they're just overall very solid cards, and they can be used as yellow energy at worst as well. For the removal creatures, we have the Determined Super Saiyan Son Gohan. Now this card's very powerful. It's not as good as Beerus because it's not as strong, doesn't hit for 2, this only hits for 1. But it is green, and green is, sometimes you just gotta have your counts of green and blue correct in the deck. If you're gonna play these decks that are 2-color, you gotta be very, you gotta be conscious of the fact that, hey, I gotta have enough green in the deck, blah, blah, blah. And then we play 4 of the, the better version of the kill spell, which is Beerus. Much stronger, goes for game a lot more of the times, but that's pretty much mandatory 4 of in almost every blue deck for the most part. Then to round out our level 4, our 4 energied removal creatures, we have, in my opinion, the best card in the game, Hidden Awakening Kale. Now this card is just outrageous for the most part. It just clears a lot of threats and draws you cards, and it has critical, so it makes your opponent lose cards. So best card in the whole deck. The reason why I wanted to play any iteration of green is usually this card, and that's usually true for anybody who wants to play any type of green, to be honest. And then the second reason why we wanted to play this deck is because we have the heavy hitter Super Saiyan Gotenks. Super Saiyan Gotenks is very powerful. It's been put into the spotlight primarily because of the Goku deck. Goku deck being able to untap 2 energy after this already untaps 2 energy, effectively making him 1 energy in the Goku deck, which is why the deck is so powerful. But in this deck, still for 3 energy, I look at this as a 3 energy card, just like I see this as a 1 energy card. You need to have 5 energy, but you can also, it inherently takes up 3 of your energy. Granted that there's no Cold Bloodlust on your opponent's side of the field, but against non-Cold Bloodlust decks, you can cast this on 5. Against Cold Bloodlust decks, you can cast it 1 turn later, just in case they have Cold Bloodlust. You don't completely tap out and don't lose the game. So these normally go out against Cold Bloodlust decks. This isn't a deck like Goku where you can just like bomb, 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 but it's very close to it. It has the same little package, but this is still an excellent card. 25k body is just where you want to be for the most part. Then no explanation needed other than get your winter promos if you don't have them yet up on ProPlayGames.com. Finally got them on our website and on TCG Player, so you can shop the lowest price for these. They just look so much nicer with the winter stamp on it, so make sure you get your winter stamp promos. They'll never go down, guys. It's an investment. Might as well. Then for the events, we have the 4 Cold Bloodlust. Now this is the whole reason why we're even Mecha Frieza. There's no other reason but that, to be honest. This is the card that makes you feel safe. It makes you feel like you're not gonna randomly get Vegeto'd out of nowhere or something like that. Then we play 3 Cold Bloodlust. 3 Weak Coercion. The reason why this wasn't 4 is because we had to fit a little space. Technically this can be a 4th one of these, but I really wanted to have the green. I didn't want to be too low on green, and this card's exceptionally better in Mecha Frieza than other decks. Even though I didn't play negates in my main board for the main event, playing Goku, I feel like this is a deck that needs it the most because it's a very glass cannon-ish type deck, so it's something that you want to be prepared and not lose to 25k bodies with double strike like this. Then we have 4 Encouraging Presence Monaka. This is just a staple in every Mecha Frieza deck. I've seen people play 2. I don't really get the logic yet. I haven't really tested 2, but this is something that I want to see at all times. And later on in the game, sometimes energy becomes hard to charge, even though you don't go past like 5 or 6 sometimes. This just becomes instant energy, and this is not so bad during the late game too. It just cycles through a card, so it's like a little Majin Buu, but it gives your leader a much more deadly side to it when it starts threatening for game. Then we played 4 Senzu Bean. Of course, self-explanatory. Senzu Bean is just a house, especially in this deck when it's essentially free and you go for game. You take 1 of your life when you're going down the home stretch, and it just makes your cards more powerful, whatever you're attacking with or whatever you're trying to threaten with. And then of course the 4 Objection. 4 Objection is just staple in this deck. One of the best cards, especially in this deck. I don't see it a staple in every other deck. I just see it as a staple in this deck for the most part. Then for the sideboard, not going to clear anything up, I'm just going to put it on top. 2 Raging Attacker Vegetas. Not sure. I just wanted to have it in there just in case. This isn't a deck that, like Goku, you can untap the mana and just have it always live. I just figured it would be an extra removal spell just in case, because normally when we played the mono blue Vegeta deck, mono blue Frieza deck, we played 4 Beerus, 3 returning evil golden Frieza, or like 4 returning evil golden Frieza, like another removal sweet monster-ish card. And this can kill a good amount of things. It also has the flash mechanic to it, so if I felt like I needed more removal, this went in. Like I said, this was not relevant for most of the top 8, so it's not perfected, but it was something that, just in case I had to play top 8, I'd have it. Sun Goten, just in case I play against any type of androids or anything like that. King Vegeta's Surprise Attack is just a pretty good card in the Goku deck. I figured, why not this deck also? In matches where you're playing, these bombs that your opponent really wants to get rid of. Sometimes they only have 1 removal spell and they have to attack it. This is a great card. It's Sensu Bean in green, which is what I like to think of it as. The 4th negate, and then the 4 Jacos to not die to all index like Marcel's. 3 Bears, because this is a deck that can actually live to cast this late game, and I feel like this is very good against results decks that have to keep or normally keep a lower hand size, like 4 or 5 cards in hand, because they love drawing off KO, etc. This is something that really punishes them, especially if they don't see the results. You keep them at 5, then you finish them off with the Beers. And then the 4th copy of the Destructive Occupation, which I would have loved to play 4 of this. I would have loved to play 4 negates, but we didn't have the space, so we just threw them in the side deck. So that's pretty much it. This is what I used to top my, what is this, like 3rd consecutive 1K. I've topped every single 1K, and I've topped 2 regionals, top 32, but then lost my top 32, and this one just missed top 32 to Dusty. So really solid results. Mecha Frieza is the deck that I feel most comfortable with. Goku I felt kind of comfortable, but it did have its weaknesses. It's not the best deck, but it is a very powerful option, especially if you see the results. It just seems like the best deck. So that's what we felt was the call for this event. But unfortunately, I didn't play against many Mecha Friezas. Unfortunately, I had to play a lot of like rogue stuff, or mirror matches for the most part, which I didn't really expect to see that many mirror matches, or else I would have played something like this that kind of countered Goku a little bit. But this ended up working just fine for me. And I'll probably try this if I go to Indy. I mean, like, honestly, this is probably all irrelevant because now we have a new set, but this is something that, was still pretty solid, and I feel like this is the Mecha Frieza list to go forward with. I don't know if Blue's as viable anymore with Goku running around, but that's pretty much my outlook on the deck and what I use to top. So thank you guys again for watching. Make sure you guys stay subscribed. We're going to have a bunch of new products coming out with the new expansion set that comes out. We should have it by tomorrow, so we're going to have like pictures and videos and all that stuff, but it won't be available for sale until Friday. You should be we should be able to still ship your order on Wednesday or Thursday. We're still getting confirmation on that, so if you guys want to get your pre-orders in, make sure you go on the website and put in those pre-orders right there, heroicplaygames.com, and we'll be able to ship that out as soon as possible to you guys. And other than that, thank you guys so much for the support. Thank you guys for all the kind words online and at the event. Everybody cheering us on, everybody congratulating us. It really meant a lot. Can't wait to go to Indy. We got to go back to the Hyperbolic Time Chamber now. We got to go test all these fantastic new cards that are going to be coming out. Super excited, and to have a nice little refresher. Sometimes like the game gets a little bit stale, and then you're like, oh, new stuff. So it's really exciting. And but yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for checking it out. Have a good day. Peace.